Tuning in for some movie reviews. Film flickers and movie reviews. Let's hear those movie reviews. Film flickers and movie reviews. And action.
Hi Flickers. Today we've decided to review Spectre. It's just released on DVD. Obviously it's been in the cinema. Which is another tale for James Bond and the lovely Daniel Craig starring.
Yeah.
That pretty much just says it, really, doesn't it? Yeah.
I am overall a fan of James Bond.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Skyfall, I will admit, because I wasn't. It didn't pull me in. So this was my first. I mean, this is my first James Bond film for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I expected quite a lot of time for Rowan Atkinson to take off the Daniel Craig mask. It was. I mean, from the beginning, it was quite a silly film. And it's not to, James Bond. There are some James Bond films which are silly. Most of the Roger Moore ones were quite silly, but they felt like they were meant to be silly. Whereas this one kind of felt like it was being silly by accident.
Well, yeah, because of the things that you got from the films with, like, I mean, Sean Connery did have some amazing gadgets stuff, but the thing I think that made the Roger Moore ones quite funny was the fact that they were just that some of the gadgets were so ludicrous. Yeah. And that was kind of like, and he did a lot of tongue-in-cheek thing, and of course the names that were coming out and everything, that's true, but you're right, it's like Rowan Atkinson. It literally should have been Johnny English, really. Yeah. That's who it should have been. In fact, one of the first sort of action bits, I guess, which I'm sure everyone's seen in the trailers anyway, is when this falling building comes down. And the whole premise of it just looks like it's something from a 1920s comedy spoof or something.
No, it's entirely correct. You could have had Buster Keaton underneath it,
literally
going for a falling window.
And then just gone, oops.
Yeah. Because to top it off, to make it really silly, it's not much of a spoiler to say it is at the tail end of this building falling down and Bond's jumping from collapsing bit to collapsing bit, and then he falls through and just basically lands on this sofa which has been untouched by everything. And it's kind of, you think, okay,
there's not one piece of rubble on the cushion that he's just about to land on. And
you just kind of think to yourself, alright, maybe you meant that to be light-hearted, but all you've really done is just make the whole thing look like a spoof of itself.
Yeah, it was. I definitely left the whole film feeling completely underwhelmed. There was nothing really in it that I was kind of excited about. All the premise that led up to an event and stuff was pretty much there for you to understand before it even happened. You just kind of went, right. Yeah, you were saying a lot of the setups were just kind of like...
That was one of the worst things, is most of the tension was taken out of a lot of the scenes because they effectively telegraphed what was going to happen by kind of setting it up in the scene before. Like, there's this one scene where Bond is fighting with one of the Spectre's henchmen, a giant guy, effectively the Jaws of this film. And the fight scene it's okay. It's quite a good fight scene. Quite a lot happens, but you already know what's going to happen at the end because they'd already shown a scene with the love interest in this film, and as soon as you see that scene, you immediately think, well, that's going to be used in the next scene, isn't it? Yeah. And it was, and so any kind of tension was taken away because you knew pretty much what was going to happen before it happened.
That was one of the things that I did say as we were going through because you had the opening scene which was in Mexico and all this weird thing that went on, including one of the other parts of it that happened, but it was the title sequence, the opening song credits sort of thing. And I was like, right, well, that's spoilers because that's obviously going to happen later on in the film. Well, that's obviously going to happen later on in the film. Right, so do we need to watch it? It was quite fun, and I think a lot of the best bits, if you've seen any of the trailers, all of the best bits are pretty much in the trailers, really.
Well, I was actually in London the day they were filming this on the Thames, and I saw the best bits then. Yeah. I mean, I was more excited then than I was for this film. It's I mean, we're laying into it, but it deserves it. It really does. It's not a great film. It's not even a very good Bond film. It's not a great film. And going back, the theme song. The theme song does not fit the film at all. It's a really like dull pop song, which
and also not to have the actual title of the film in it. I think that's why Skyfall won so much, to be honest, because with Adele singing the soundtrack, because it actually had the title of the film in it, and I think that was what made it win. So I mean, obviously she's an amazing talent anyway, and it was an original film score, but literally I think that's the only reason why people gravitated towards it so much, is because it was part of the film and it had the film's title in it, which was brilliant.
I didn't watch Skyfall, but I did listen to the song. And the other thing that song had was it had a gravitas to it. It had it had a cinematic feel, and this song just didn't.
No, and I like Sam Smith as well. I think he's an extremely amazing talent.
We don't feel the tension because you already know what's going to happen, and when just things are happening that are silly, you can't take it seriously anymore.
I mean, I even said, like, there were so many wish moments that I had, and twice I wished for a jetpack. I just wanted a jetpack to happen. There were 2 moments that were just ideal for that, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see a jetpack. We're going to see it. No, didn't see a jetpack.
I think this is again
highly disappointing.
This is because this generation of Bond are trying to be slightly more realistic with their gadgets, but there's no point in them being realistic with their gadgets when the rest of the film is a bit of a farce.
And you do have that opportunity with Bond to be able to do these fantastical gadgets and everything. In fact, one of the things that they were saying this premise was the fact that it was the age of intelligence, you know, and that we should consume all media and that we should know everything that's going on at any time, and so I thought, well, then surely some of those gadgets should be, if they're not at the time that they're developed now, like there are some fantastical things out there that you can see and you go, really? I mean, surely that's science fiction, and it's, you know, people have actually gone out and made these things.
Yeah.
So surely James Bond could go a little bit step over and kind of do it, because this is not Jason Bourne, right? This is not the Bourne Identity. This is not, you know, that kind of quick fire action or anything, or any real sort of, like, as you were saying, you're supposed to be a secret agent.
Yeah.
At what point? Seriously, a quote from John. At what point is this supposed to be secret? It was just, and that was just the opening bit.
Well, this is the opening bit, and I am going to talk about this, even though it is a mild spoiler.
But it's the beginning. You're going to see it anyway. It doesn't matter.
He's in. He's in during the Day of the Dead celebrations in South America.
Oh yeah, we spotted him straight away.
He's doing that. It's obvious which one was Daniel Craig anyway, but he's with this woman who presumably is just a woman because she doesn't feature anymore on the film. So he's got a mask on. He's got a mask on. They've got a mask on. They're walking through the crowds. They retire to her bedroom, and then he takes the mask off and then goes outside. So at what point was it worth him having a mask on if he's just going to take it off anyway when he goes to do the job he's doing? It's ridiculous things like that just made this film just a farce.
Wouldn't recommend it as a dedicated Bond film, and I don't think it really kind of gave itself as much permission that it really could have. I think it could have gone much further, especially hearing all of the blunt about all of the big budget effects and everything that was going on, and I was thinking, if it's got that kind of money behind it, I'm really going to get blown away in the cinema and stuff, and you know, now on DVD, I really thought it was going to still have that kind of gravitas, but it didn't really give it.
No, I mean, it's got a claim to fame that it's got the most expensive cinematic explosion at the moment in there, and it was kind of a bit of a damp squib when you watch it. It's
for that not kind
as
of
impressive,
money,
not as impressive as that title would make it sound.
Yeah, for that kind of money, I want that and Bomb. I mean, come on, that just you know, it should have been a mushroom cloud at the very least. Really,
it's I mean, it's a shame. The acting, there's no acting in here that you could say was bad. It was all good. There was nothing massively stand out, but that's not their fault. That is definitely the script. The cinematography wasn't bad. The scenery wasn't bad. The location wasn't bad. It was literally just not a good film. It's unfortunate when you get this, but where everything else is in place, but the writing plainly isn't.
It's true. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it just misses a lot of stuff really. But there we go. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us.
Bye, Flickers.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the video, and if you did like it, then please hit the like button, and if you want to see more from us, then please hit subscribe.
And don't forget to leave a comment below, and if you've got any suggestions for films that we should be reviewing in the future,
please leave us a nice little message. Oh, and check out our previous videos.